the normal short-term rentals, they're just not cash flowing, just way too high prices and not high enough. I mean, the occupancy is there, but if you pay like with the home prices that high in those vacation areas and with so much competition, they just don't cash flow. So yeah, when I heard about your program and after seeing what we did with the Brewster property, it was like, we know it's possible to do it in such a small town because we were successful in there. And like you were saying, like we didn't eat, I was actually kind of surprised how good that property did just because like people asked like where the property is. And we told them, they were like that's a pretty small town to have a STR in. Like it is, but people travel for all kinds of reasons. So, and then, yeah, just your program, seeing you talking about having multifamily and having like multiple sources of income and only like one roof, probably one furnace, and like cut down the expenses and have two or three incomes coming in from the same property really intrigued me. So that's kind of why I got started.
Yeah. Yeah. And you jumped right in. And I remember it was about a year ago when we saw each other at RubeCon, and you shared the deal that you were considering in Canton at the time that you ended up purchasing. How'd you narrow down to that market and that property? And what was it about the deal that really appealed to you?
So I kind of wanted something local. So I'm managing most of it by myself. So I wanted, yeah, something local, and that's about Canton's about 45 minutes from me. So I was just keeping the area or keeping my eyes open on the MLS and Zillow and Realtor.com just for places within like a maybe an hour and a half radius from me. Um, and yeah, so I came across that property, and with being a 3 unit, it really, yeah, it was really intriguing to me. And so, yeah, I looked more into it and uh, let you go over it. And yeah, so that's why I pursued that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And can you kind of share the specifics of it, of like, what you purchased it for and what you kind of were planning to put into it and what you were projecting in terms of cash flow and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so we bought it for 345, or I bought it for 345, and I used private money for the down payment, which was with private money, and then also the furnishings. And so the property was gut rehab before I bought it, so it was ready to go. Except I did some exterior landscaping, so I put probably 25,000 exterior in. That I used some of my own money, but the furnishings and the down payment, closing costs, I used private money for. Um, and yeah, gave 345 for it, and expect for so far I just listed it last October, so we haven't gone through a high season yet, but
Yeah.
projected for like 3,400 cash flow per month on average.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I know we're coming up on the high season. It's a tough time to list in October, right? Going into the winter season, but the summer tends to make up for it and it kind of evens out. But $3,400 of net cash flow, that's phenomenal. So for people who are listening to this that don't really understand kind of what he just described. So one of the big pushbacks I get from people a lot of times is like, this sounds great, but I don't have a huge savings for the down payment. You need typically 20 to 25% for down payment, and then costs for, furnishing costs. And so, what a lot of people that I work with do, and what Tony's done, is to get a DSCR loan for the initial. Who'd you use for the DSCR loan?
Visio lending.
Visio lending. Cool. Yeah. So Visio lending. So, obviously, Tony doesn't have like a massive portfolio, but you can go out, anyone can go out and get a DSCR loan, as long as the property is going to cash flow, which obviously this property, a turnkey, really great 3 unit property, is going to cash flow well. So got that for 75 to 80%, and then went to a private lender. Which, who'd you use for a private lender? Was it just somebody that you had a relationship with, or how'd that work?
Yeah, it was something I didn't have like a really good relationship with him before this, but he's a local guy. He's actually a farmer in the local area, and he's just when he was, I guess, when he was younger, he started lending out money, and he's just built a nice portfolio of private money that he lends out to people. So yeah, I just got connected with him. My cousin actually did a deal with him that he did private money through him too, that he connected me with him. And yeah, that's how just build a relationship with him. And yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah. And that's how it works. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know anyone who's super rich, or I don't like, or they'll Google private money lenders. That's not generally where private money lenders come from. It's just like a friend of a friend, like you said, who just, has, they have savings, like he's been a successful farmer. Like, a lot of times people are working in a job and they have a 401k that they put money into over the years, and they want to self-direct and invest it into real estate or an IRA. So it can take a ton of different forms, but it's super attractive to someone to make a double digit return on that money, on their private money funds that they're going to lend out. So you could give, yeah, do you know, I mean, can you share what you paid in terms of interest rate for the private money?
I actually just pay 7%. It's like, it's
Wow.
amazing. So in our community, so he's actually an Amish farmer. In that community, they actually kind of have their own banking also. So it's called a helping fund, and it's for young Amish families that maybe don't have credit and stuff. Harder for them to get a loan to buy a property or build a house. So they have the Amish community have what they call an Amish helping fund, and that's actually I think that's where he had most of his money invested, and still has some in there. But there he only gets like a 3 or 4% return. So he was like a 7 or 8% return is really good for him. So I mean, I was like, well, that's amazing for me. Like you can never
Yeah,
get private money for that low of interest rate anywhere else.
that's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Especially for a secondary loan that's private money too. Um, Generally what you see is people are investing in mutual funds, so their average return is 8% or so. And so then you can offer them a fixed 10 to 12% return for the private, to invest in your deal. And it's really attractive, to make a higher fixed interest return. And a lot of times they're getting payments on a monthly or quarterly basis. Do you pay them out monthly or quarterly?
Monthly.
Monthly. Okay. Yeah. So now they have a stream of income. That private money lender has a stream of income, which is really attractive compared to a mutual fund where it just sits in that account and they can't touch any of the growth. And so it's like a win-win for everybody. And a lot of times they'll be in a second position, second mortgage position on that property. So it's a secured position on a property that's cash flowing really well. You bought well. It's going to appreciate over time, and so it's a win-win all the way around. And so again, like I hear so many people like come up with reasons that they can't do this, and you just did it with $0 out of your pocket, other than you paid a little bit for landscaping out of your pocket, and everything else was covered by other people's money, but yet it's still going to cash flow several $1,000s a month, which just that's amazing.
Yeah, and
So what? Oh, go ahead.
how we ran our numbers, I actually ran my numbers with the private money being 10%. So it's like it would still be a great deal at paying 10% for private money. If you have to pay 10 or 12% for private money, it still would have still definitely been a good deal for me. It's just I just got fortunate enough to find somebody that took 7%. So, but it would have still been a
Yeah,
great deal the other way too.
yeah. And now that you're, you have an established relationship with him, you've been paying him for, many months now. Has he expressed interest in doing other deals with you?
I haven't talked to him about really doing any other future deals, but I'm guessing he probably would definitely be yes.
Yeah, that's what I tend to see a lot is with myself included. Like almost every private lender I've ever had tends to come back and say, "Hey, I've got more money now that I've been putting aside. Can I invest more with you? Because it's a better return than they can get anywhere else." So as long as you do what you say you're going to do, which that's kind of a prerequisite for anything, but obviously that's what you're doing. So I'd love to hear maybe some of the things that have gone right, and then some of the lessons learned. So maybe we'll start with some of the challenges or things that have come up that were kind of lessons learned that you're going to maybe try to do different next time.
Yeah, for me next time, one thing like I would probably get actually more private money just because like I got it at such a great deal and not because like I used a lot of my savings up, could kind of put me in a pinch there over the winter months. So like going into the next deal, like I'm not going to be afraid to finance everything like that I can possibly can and get like try to get zero of my dollars into it just so I don't take my savings and invest it in a deal. So yeah, I don't restrict myself. Um, Although I mean, there haven't been major hurdles, just little things, clog pipes every now and then. But like, and in our Brewster property, we had a furnace go out, and but like nothing crazy, no guests wrecking the place or anything like that. So far, it's been really good actually.
That's awesome. Do you guys screen your guests pretty heavily?
Yeah, I try to make sure. Yeah, try to make sure they have at least one or two couple 5-star reviews. If not, try to collect a security deposit, or at least confirm that they would be willing to pay that security deposit if they would damage anything.
Yeah, yeah, that prevents a lot of bad actors from booking your place. So that makes sense. So, yeah, I think that's smart from the perspective of borrowing enough cash flow to get you through, especially if the timing of it was tough because you're going into a slower season where revenue isn't as high. Now you're going to kind of refill those coffers with all the profit from the summertime. But yeah, it does make it pretty lean during the winter months. Um, so beyond that, then what are some of the positives? Like what are or I guess there weren't too many too many negatives. So where do you, I guess, what's the goal from here after going through this experience? Um, what are you focused on? Are you looking to buy more in the Canton area, or what's now that the dust has settled from this one, and you've got a good rhythm going? What's the next step for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back into the things that happened. One thing that we did have happen, just we have a no pet policy. It wasn't major, but somebody brought a pet, and some people I know are like really cautious about Airbnb with that. They have a supposedly insurance, and like if they actually ever pay out, and like we just called them, we just like told them what happened, and the guest didn't like they initially said it was a service pet, but it wasn't. They didn't have any proof or they didn't answer the questions that we asked them. So we just told Airbnb and like we got paid out without any problems. So like just to put
Wow.
confidence in people, like they do their job. Like they do try to keep the host happy also. But yeah, just
Yeah.
and then yeah, just so I'd like to in the future here, I'm still looking in the Canton area, um, and also like looking in kind of that same hour and a half just around me, probably like up towards Canton, but maybe like up towards Akron, near up um, yeah, up to Akron, kind of in those surrounding areas. The Canton Hall of Fame is supposed to be getting some major improvements. They're actually getting a big water park, so I'm really excited about
Mm,
that. So that, yeah, I'm definitely still looking in that area, and if I find another great deal in that area, I'll definitely pursue that one.
nice. Nice. Yeah, we've had the same experience with the Airbnb air cover, or the host insurance. Did the pet cause damage, or they just paid you out a pet fee?
It was no huge damage, just extra cleaning fee. So that's what they paid
Got it.
out. Um,
Nice. Yeah, yeah, they're pretty good as long as you have evidence of whatever it was. Which I'm sure that your cleaners could take pictures of the extra cleaning required and hair or whatever. They're pretty good about paying that out. So that's great to hear. Um, so you're still looking around the, within driving distance to continue to build the portfolio. I'm curious what your goal originally was when you got into this, and then, has that evolved at all since you started?
I'd say like my goals are still pretty much same that when I started. My goal is kind of to buy one or two properties per year, eventually build up so I can quit my full-time job and just do managing. So I take care of my own lawn care, kind of do my own handyman work. I'm still young enough. I don't have a family, 24 years old, so I still have extra time and yeah, I don't have a family. So I still do the managing part, the handyman work, and so yeah, get something local so I can still do that. But yeah, build up so I can do that stuff full time and quit my job is kind of my goal, and
Yeah,
was my goal to start off with, and it still is my goal.
that's awesome. What do you do full time?
I work in a custom cabinet shop.
Nice. That's yeah. So you've got some good skills that I'm sure you learned from that to be able to help operate your properties and do some of the more hands-on things, especially like you said, while you're younger and still have time and smaller portfolio. I'm sure over time you'll grow the systems to where you don't have to do a lot of the hands-on stuff. But that's what I love about this business is just that the systems can grow organically with you. So like if you want to in the beginning to increase your net cash flow and net profit on a monthly basis, do some of that stuff that's more hands-on, you can. And it's not like there's no one telling you you can or can't. But then it also lends itself really well to as you scale and you have 10 properties here in the near future, you can easily hire somebody else to step into that role of the handyman and do some of that stuff as well. It lends itself well to all different sizes, which is cool.
Yeah.
Are you are you still considering? I know we talked a little bit about Florida at some point. Are you still considering looking at properties down in Florida?
Yeah, eventually that's somewhere I like to in also. Just going down there almost every year for vacation. Um, I would definitely I like to have property down there, being able to like use it yearly also as vacation. Don't always have to rent a house when I go down there. But yeah, and if I could find the right market and find the right property, I'm definitely keeping my eyes open in that market too.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I think it's smart to kind of build economies of scale in one market first and focus, especially if in your backyard it can work well, and then expand, especially in a warmer climate that you can use as well, which is what we've done down in Florida as well. And it's worked out really well. So that's great. I feel like I see a lot of myself in you in terms of when I was younger. I was really interested in personal finance and real estate in my 20s, but I've noticed a lot of people aren't. A lot of people just kind of like jump into the normal job, and then it's like they get halfway through their career, and then it's like they have a wake up call where they're like, okay, I'm going to be stuck doing this forever if I don't change something up. And it's like they're living paycheck to paycheck. Their lifestyle has increased to what that to basically have no margin. And so they have this like moment where they're like, okay, I need to figure out a different way. And that's when they get into real estate investing. I guess for anyone who's in the stage of wanting to get started with this, whether it's in their 20s and they're just kind of getting started in their adult life, or they're halfway through their career and wanting to transition into this, what advice do you have around, getting started in this?
I mean, like we were just talking about earlier, I'm not special. Like I only have eighth grade education. So it's just like a fact. Anybody can do it that has the willpower. It's just, and if you want to, like, there's nothing that can stop you if you want to. You do have to put the work in, put the effort in, but like, there's nobody that can't do it. And for me, it's just one of my whys is just like my goals is like not just try to like make enough money just like to help make so I can make my payments. Like I also want to be a blessing to other people. Like why do I just want to make enough for myself if I can make enough so I can like bless others with it too?